welcome to Game On, the show that makes boys into men and women into girls. Tonight we'll be looking at a sword-slashing demon game as well as a sword-slashing robot game. Damn it, I doubled up. Anyway, we will also be talking to Ray as well as skills and strategies and game recommendation. Now if you're new to the show and you've just tuned in, be aware there are graphic images and random moments of me just changing scenes. Okay, I've done something silly. Not only did I forget the girl I'm stalking's birthday, but I also reviewed 2 button mashing games in one episode. Now, there's nothing wrong with button mashing games, it's just that I usually like to mix up the games I review a bit more, you know, like having a fighter with a racer or an action game and a puzzler. You know, I think it's just a bit more interesting to watch, so I apologise if, you know, that annoys you in any way. And don't worry about me, you know, stalking this girl. Like, it's completely harmless. There's nothing creepy about it. It's fine. Minus the fact that she's currently lying unconscious in the boot of my car. Here's a game review. I'm so glad that my parents never bought me a sword when I was younger, because I'd be playing that thing and swinging it all around the place, especially with our next game, which involves a sword and also involves me mashing the buttons as much as I can to kill everyone in the room. Anyway, the next game is DMC, or Devil May Cry, or maybe both. Here it is. It's been a while since we last saw Dante, and from what I remember, he was less emo-y and sported a red leather jacket. But this new DMC by Ninja Theory offers a different approach to the character, who is younger and more naive to his past. Again, another game which I was full of trepidation in playing, but my fingers crossed that this will be a great reinvention of the character, and not a disappointing ripoff. Here we go! DMC follows a very young Dante who spends his time partying and being reckless with no memory of his childhood or who he is. As Demon King Mundus attempts to take over the world, he decides to soon take care of Dante, which prompts Virgil, Dante's twin brother, to help him. It's a rather typical story, but it's one that is done well. It's one of the few game stories that I really was actually keen to see the next cutscene as I played through it, and we slowly see this young teen punk become the demon slayer we've all come to love. As Dante journeys into his past to fight Mundus, he'll be pulled in and out of limbo, which is filled with some exquisite sights and also many Inception-like moments with bits of the level shifting and changing all around him. As different as it may seem, this Devil May Cry is a lot darker, with Dante cursing and rarely flexing his humour, but we do see a much deeper game. It is familiar and definitely a lot of fun, and in many ways this is the best Devil May Cry yet.
So you must be the secret ingredient. I'm your prime date, you ugly sack of shit.
With previous Devil May Cry games, there's been a hell of a lot of muted colours and gothic castles. DMC differs in a way that is filled with more colour and a more modern feel. When entering Limbo, it is a visual fiesta as it constantly changes and morphs into a lucid look, and it's amazing to play through. The character designs are very punk and gothic, and the demons and monsters you fight are disgusting and evil. As much as I didn't like Dante's new image, I did get used to it, but it was due to the great style and direction that DMC takes. These impressive visuals are backed with a familiar Devil May Cry soundtrack of heavy metal music and screaming lyrics. Voice acting is great, and all the sword-slashing, gun-toting action looks and sounds superb. With a movable camera, this Devil May Cry is the most stylish and best-looking one yet. Just when I thought that this genre was starting to feel a bit dated, DMC comes along and slices and dices it into fun. It's the same feel as the old games with a slightly different controls and moves. You'll be using every button on your controller as you slash with your Rebellion sword, then launch your enemy in the air with an axe, and then shooting them in the air, and then slicing them with your scythe. Woo! Every weapon is instantly interchangeable, which leads to an incredibly deep and diverse style of action that keeps getting better. This is a very linear game as Dante will enter a level and fight his way through to several boss characters and new abilities. There's some backtracking and a lot of secret challenges as well as keys and orbs to collect. Like previous games, there is a rating system which reflects on how diverse your fighting style is and subtly challenges you at every fight. It's rewarding and encourages you to explore the game more. As you collect orbs, you can spend them on items or improve your character with new moves and abilities. There's some little puzzles to solve which aren't overly difficult, but DMC is mainly focused on action with challenging enemies, an awesome story, and a sweet, Devil May Cry, old school style of action. I love it when a game surprises me such as this one, especially when I wanted to hate it so much in the first place and it really turns me around and makes me like it. I will say that I do prefer the look of the other Dante and how they handled the character, but this game goes into the character more and the story is a lot better and revitalizes the action and the spirit of the series. So I think this is a fantastic title and I'm giving it a 9 point... what did I give it? 9.48 out of 10.01. Sweet. Can't wait to see the next one.
You have to dig deep to see if you're still sane, or if you can still call yourself human.
Now, it's no secret that I love the game, but I don't like to overindulge either. So, I thought I'd take a break from gaming. I took my friend, my gaming friend Ray, and also a non-gaming friend of mine, Stray, and we decided to go out into the country for a couple of days, just to kind of get away from it all, to recharge, rebuild, and also maybe even try to find ourselves. So here's a little look at our break from gaming in a small country town of, I forget. First, we saddled up in our small abode for a quick night in, where we watched some television.
You can like them both at the same time.
I can?
Pranked called telemarketers.
I bought the soup mate for my wife, Kate, but Alf has eaten all the soup. And all Alf ate that too. Just wondering if it causes pit here. Well, it's got the oscillating blades. I thought, you know, could cause some sort of pit here.
And even spoke to TV sensation Jim Caldwell over the phone from Burbank, California.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, I thought I'd give you a call just to...
It was a fun-filled night that ended quite late and left us tired as hell in the next morning. We woke promptly the next day at noon and set off into town to talk to some laid-back country folk and experience some easy traffic. First we did a spot of shopping, saw some sights, and showed people that we were the best of friends. Top it off with some more TV.
I love you, Blueberry. Yes, I do. Raisin, banana, coconut too.
Charades, and another late night out. The next morning we were up early heading back into the big black smoke, and we all agreed that it was a successful video game and work break. So yeah, that's what I recommend for people. If you feel like you're getting too stressed and you're gaming a little too much, have a break, go into a country town, settle down with some country folk, and then get back in the thick of things and you feel recharged right into it. Anyway, here's your game review. Franchises go in many different ways, and you know, sometimes they get more deep and relevant and realistic and they stay true to the character. Other times they go completely crazy and surprise us all. Well, our next game is to do with the Metal Gear franchise, and it's not with the lead character of Solid Snake this time, it's with Raiden. Yes, that snowy-haired ninja slash cyborg. We don't know what the hell he is, but he's in the next game, and they've called it Metal Gear Rising: Revengence. Let's see just where this one goes. Let's check it out.
Violence alone is a deterrent. Sometimes
Thank the heavens there's another Metal Gear, but this time it focuses on the white-haired devil Raiden in Metal Gear Rising Revengence. Yes, that's a stupid name for a game, but I'm hoping that Platinum Games and Konami have a good reason for it going in this new direction for the series. It's got sword slashing and it's got all hyped up cyborgs and I'm guessing terrible dialogue, so let's jump into it. The story takes place after the events of Metal Gear Solid 4, where Raiden is now working as a security for an African Prime Minister. After Raiden is defeated and his client assassinated, Raiden and his secret mission gang vow to find the terrorists responsible and bring them to justice. Now, I have no idea what Raiden is. It says that he's a cyborg ninja, but is he human or is he a complete robot? There are many instances like these that happen throughout the game, with lots of plot holes and over-the-top action and silly moments of humour. It's a very simple plot, and it's quite clear that the emphasis is on the gameplay and the action throughout. But these things did bug me, as I usually love the story in Metal Gear Solid and the characters, and Raiden just struck me as being a bit too cold, especially when he just cuts up soldiers into tiny pieces that are cyborgs, but really still human. I don't know. One thing is for sure is that it's extremely stylized, with little substance, and you will notice Metal Gear staples like geckos, codex, and boxes. Oh, and of course, cleavage. There are many moments in Metal Gear Rising that will look awesome, and then some other moments which will look pretty lame. Character designs, cutscenes and movements all look stunning as you watch Raiden chop down doors, cyborgs, robot dogs and watermelons. Level designs, however, are rather simple and uninteresting, as Raiden traverses the levels very simply with few alternating routes to get to the next stage. I was surprised at the amount of gore in this title. It's a very artificial looking game as well in a lot of ways, as the level itself remains largely unaffected by the action. Dialogue is pretty standard as well as the voice acting. In fact, Raiden's voice really kind of bugged me. It was as if he was trying to be Batman by growling at everyone. I mean, come on! This is one of the most feminine looking heroes I've ever seen, and I'm just not buying it. Aside from that, get ready for a lot of heavy metal bash music and some awesome effect sounds. Okay, it may seem like I'm slagging off this game, but it's really not that bad, especially when it comes to the gameplay. Raiden is a hyped up ninja as he slices and rips through tons and tons of enemies, and he ninja runs throughout the levels. When it comes to swordplay, you have complete 360 degree blade control, and many parts require you to be accurate in maintaining power-ups and health. The action is frantic, but not always fluid, as the controls can get in the way, especially when you're trying to parry attacks and multiple enemies on the screen. You'll be overwhelmed easily at times and left dizzy and annoyed, but if you can master the controls, it's actually quite deep gameplay. Each enemy requires a different approach, and your style is measured after each battle to show you how you rank. You'll handle multiple weapons and many different bosses that are really quite challenging and awesome. The gameplay is also mixed up with stealth segments, controlling other cyborgs and quick-time events, which are all presented in such a slick, stylistic way that the whole game travels at quite a pace, where it jumps from level to level, plot point to plot point, and action piece to bloody aftermath. There are some issues here, but largely this is very enjoyable. I was a little let down with Metal Gear Rising, I'm going to have to admit. It's a Metal Gear game with less story, less character development, and it seems a lot more like, style over substance in this way. But I think the more I stuck with it, the more I enjoyed, and it is actually a very good game here. I think there's a lot of emphasis on action and gameplay. Sure, the controls can be a bit frustrating at the start of it, but if you really get into it, you can have a lot of fun with this game. So I'm going to give it an 8.68 out of 10.01. for our game recommendation this week, we are looking at a game that I've actually just kind of reviewed. It's very closely linked to it, and that is the Devil May Cry HD Collection. Now, I am a huge Dante fan. I've been playing him recently. I've been put right in the mood, and this is just the perfect prescription as it allows me to relive some of my favourite PS2 memories and also hack, slash, chop, shoot, and just kill every kind of goddamn demon out there! The collection includes the original Devil May Cry, the mixed review Devil May Cry 2, and the outstanding Devil May Cry 3 Dante's Awakening. It is notable how dated the earlier games are, but anyone who's been seduced by the action in these games will be won all over again, as the fantastic cutscenes, superb art direction, and the reckless, charming Dante is back looking better than ever. To be honest, it's probably not the best HD remake that has come out recently. There's certain graphical issues with the first game, and also widescreen issues where it stays in standard format in some parts of each game. But, these are games that just scream of such action and style. And for me, it was a wonderful trip down memory lane. And I was pretty surprised at how well these games still hold up today. As, the blood, the guts, the gore, and even the graphics are still surprisingly good. Whether it's throwing your sword into an enemy's chest or surfing the battleground on a demon, or even battling some of the best bosses in gaming history, there's so much to enjoy in these titles. The third game is easily the best, with a touching story, blood, gore, violence, and there's plenty of angel and demon references and the ability to play as Virgil. I'm just so glad that I was able to revisit Hell in HD. It's probably not for everyone, but if you like your hack and slash action adventure games, then this is one real nostalgic treat. And that's my game recommendation for the week.
I'm absolutely crazy about it!
Devil May Cry in high definition.
Gaming has taken me all over the place. I know what 18th century Rome looks like now. I know what the future will bring. I know everything. But I was just thinking, what are the best worlds? What are the best places, planets, environments that gaming has created? So I've created my own list of what I think are the best worlds in gaming. Check it out. Far out, man. This week on Skills and Strategies, we're looking at Far Cry 3, one of the best shooters these here eyes have ever seen. And anyway, we're going to show you how to take down heavies with ease, and also how to tackle the island and weapons and even yourself. So get ready to get jungle fever and a bad rash all over again. So here we go. When starting out in Far Cry 3, there's a couple of things you should do to help you on your way. First, learn the fine art of crafting, as this will help you make medicines, craft bigger wallets, and gun holsters so you can hold more than one weapon. Hit up as many radio towers as you can to give you a nice overview of the island, and make sure you use your skill points to get takedown quickly, as it's essential for stealth kills. By breaking radio tower lockboxes, you'll be given more access to weapons in Far Cry 3. Try to customize your loadout with different typed weapons for different situations, like a shotgun for up close, a silenced weapon for stealth, and also be sure to have a sniper rifle equipped. It's a given, as this will help you through those more difficult areas where you can take them out from great distance out of danger. Once you've selected your loadout, kit out each weapon with scopes, attachments and whatever, and you're ready to roll. In order to help the locals win back their land and also gain some new missions, you have to take out enemy camps. Very rarely will you succeed in doing this by charging in headfirst, so instead get a good vantage point and use your camera to highlight targets and points of interest. What you're looking for is a quick route to destroying those alarm boxes, so shoot animal cages if you can to get rid of some guards, stealth kill a few, and then switch them off or shoot them. Then it's usually just a case of destroying what's left. So have a couple of med syringes in your backpack just in case. The more you progress the game, the harder the enemies get, especially when you come up against a heavy. Now these guys are very well armoured, so shooting them in the head or otherwise won't do too much. What they can't really defend though is explosions, so grenades, C4 and rockets are the quickest way to bring them down. Also, I have been able to stealth kill these guys, so try that out if you can. If it all gets too much for you and you're out of options, you can escape harm by fast travelling. Now it's the coward's way, but not many other games give you this option, so use it if you have to. So I hope those tips help you with everything that is Far Cry 3. And if you haven't tried it yet, check out the multiplayer. It's quite a fine little diversion from the main story. And also the co-op. Co-op's brilliant. One thing is that there's a lot of foul language due to one of the English characters in the game. He's dropping C-bombs and F-bombs and all kind of cuss words at you, so not for the faint of heart, but a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what's actually crazy? I'm just watching television in the background and you're on TV right now. With the Flavor Stone infomercial? Yeah, Flavor Stone infomercial. I kid you not. Right now. You remember filming that?
I'm driving with my wife and boy, they'll get a kick out of this. Especially on television and on the strong guys. Is that the same? Well, you know, life is a very small world sometimes, isn't it?
Tell me, do you still have that pink satin shirt?
You know, that day that I was there, they forgot
Right.
to bring the wardrobe, so they went out and got something and made me wear that. And trust me, my friend, I was throwing up.
You didn't say. Well, yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's quite festive.
And we've reached the end of yet another show, and I have to say I forgot to go to the toilet during the ad break, so I'm going to have to get the vacuum. Anyway, if you wish to contact us, do so by emailing this address. Otherwise, check us up at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You know, remember to game safely. Always game a couple of meters away from the television, in a well-lit room, and completely naked. Other than that,